your PYP exhibition central idea, now is the time to start asking questions. So for this activity, you will need a piece of paper and a pencil and your central idea that I have approved in front of you. Now here is my central idea for my exhibition, which is wilderness is disappearing. So I'm going to put it down and I'm going to ask as many questions as I can. I'm not worrying about whether they're good or bad, I'm just writing them down. Using the key concepts and the global goals, I'm going to write down as many questions as I can about my central idea. So now I've finished my questions. I can still write some more later on, but as I was writing my questions down, when I was thinking about what do I need to know, what do I want to know about my central idea, I used the key concepts to help me. So as you are writing, when you're thinking, going through these key concepts will be very important as you are writing. So if you're missing some later on, we can go back and use those. But just try to write as freely as you can, as many questions as you can for now. Have all of these questions, I'm going to sort them using the what makes a good question criteria into two categories, into good questions and meh questions, not as good. So what makes a good question? A good question should be open. It should give you lots of information and not a yes or no or a one-word answer. It should be important and tell you more about your central idea. It should be interesting to research and something that is going to help you with your central idea. It should be answerable. It should be answerable within the time that we have, and it's a question that could be answered. You need to know if there is information about that question and that you can investigate it within the given time. So now I've sorted my questions between good and meh using the what makes a good question criteria. The meh questions were like this: how do animals feel when they lose their habitats? Well, that one I don't think I can answer because I can't ask the animals. How many national parks are there in Canada? Well, that's a closed question. It's only one answer. What is important to the wilderness? It's okay, it's not very clear. I might move it to the middle just in case. What are the impacts of being outside? Maybe I could move that over, but I think I had a better question that was better to my inquiry. Can you camp in Japan? Again, a closed question, it's either yes or no. What muscles do you use when canoeing? A very good question, but it's not necessarily super connected to my central idea. So I moved it to the meh section. What animals in Japan do you see in Canada? Again, it's kind of a closed question. It's not going to help me with my inquiry. How many people live in Canada? Well, that's definitely a closed question, and it's not super important. And are moose big? Well, yes, they are, but also not important, and it is a closed question. Now that you've written down as many questions as you can and sorted them out between good questions and meh questions, you can now write down those questions into your exhibition folder. So to get there, remember it's exhibition grade 5 MJ, which should be in your drive. So it should look like this. Click on it. Find your name of your exhibition folder. So here's mine, Michelle Exhibition. And you can see that I've already created the document. So you would normally click New, Google Docs, and then start writing. But I'll just show you what I've done. So you can see I've started with the central idea, and I've labeled it as Michelle's questions. I haven't sorted them out yet or done anything. I've literally just written them down, as many as I could. Now, that's not to say that I'm going to use them all. In fact, probably not all of them will be used. I might even write some more depending on what happens next week. But that is the next step. Now that we've written down all our questions that we have asked so far, next week we are going to sort them out in their key concepts. Maybe writing some more questions so we can have one question for each key concept. Then we will use those questions to research, to find out as much as we can about our central ideas in preparation for our exhibition.